have Blockbuster to thank for this review. Normally I don't do games that are over a year old, but when I saw that a Blockbuster was going out of business, I knew I could find some great deals on Wii games. This game was the cheapest they had for sale, a whopping $4. And even then it looked like nobody wanted it. I decided there had to be at least $4 worth of fun in this game, so I picked it up. Ninja Reflex at its basic core is just a small minigame collection. There are only 6 different minigames to play, with those games having different modes and objectives to accomplish. The idea behind this is that you want to increase your ninja skills by going up in belt classes. You do this by completing the minigame modes they have set up for you. As you increase in belt classes, the amount of modes that you'll have to complete in that minigame will increase as well, and they will get even harder. Since there's only 6 minigames, I'm just going to go over them all, from best to worst. But let me say, when I say best, I mean that in the context of this game. Honestly, all these games were too shallow to really enjoy for long. Koi. In this game you have to grab fish with your hands. You just place your cursor over the fish and wait for it to come up to the surface. When it does, you jerk your Wiimote to grab it. This was the most fun of all the minigames, as it can be quite tricky to get the right kinds of fishes. Shuriken. This is just a hit the target kind of game. Sometimes you only have to hit certain kinds of targets, and sometimes they cared about how fast you did it. When you saw the target that you wanted to hit, you press the B button to lock on, and it would stay on that target if it moved or not, until you flick the Wiimote like you're throwing a shuriken at it. Nunchucks. You have to rotate your Wiimote like you're drawing an infinity symbol, or in other words, a sideways number 8. Once you get the rhythm down, they would start throwing things at you, and you would have to swack at them to break them by doing that motion with the Wiimote. Katana. In this game, you have to defend yourself from attacking enemies. It would show you what direction they want you to hold the Wiimote to block the attack, and if you did it right, you'd have to make a slashing motion to kill the enemy after it's stunned from your block. The motion controls were hit and miss on this game. It would often not read my positions correctly. But what's funny is that sometimes I just flailed my hands about and it would read it as the correct block. This was the only minigame where the motion controls were a problem, and you would think that would make it the worst of the minigames. But that honor goes to the 2 stupidest and hardest to pronounce games on this collection. Hashi and Hataru. Hataru is a game where you have to catch fireflies. They make your cursor disappear and you have to guess when the cursor's over the firefly, and then press a button when you're over them. And then there's Hashi, or fly catching with chopsticks and putting them in a bowl. After you complete these minigames on the belt that you're on, you move on to a test where they pick 3 minigames to see how you'll do on them. They score you on different criteria for each game. At the end they'll give you a score, and if you do a decent enough job, you'll pass. Look, I got C's and passed. In America, I would be on the honor roll. All of these games can be played with 3 other players in a party game setting. However, since all these games are pretty boring, I doubt you'll even bother suggesting this game when you have a party, so it really doesn't matter. The problem with Ninja Reflex is its lack of games to play. After 10 minutes, you basically played every game it has to offer, and you'll move on to another game. So I don't think the game is worth a rent. But if you see it at like a garage sale for $3 to $5, it might be worth a buy. But any other situation, you should skip it.